Dzień dobry. That's it. It doesn't go any more than dzień dobry. Okay. If you have something on your knees or... Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you. Thank you. This is why I'm not used to this. Thank you. Okay. Is there anybody using translation? No, they're not. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. If I raise my voice, because I do have a loud voice, please just, thank you. So you're my guide. Thank you very much. Okay. What I need you to do is stand up, please. Everybody stand up. Now, from head to foot, shake your body. Go. Okay, come on, hands up. Come on. Kids do this. Right. Now, I need you to massage your ears. Go. Both of them, all the way round. Now, the bits in the middle as well. Okay. 3 deep breaths. Those of you who are smokers, push all that dirty air out on the last one. Okay, now I need you to face the front, and I need you, in your best voices, loudest voices, to say, I am the best. 1, 2, 3.
I am the best.
Wow, that's not bad, actually. That's not bad. That means I can't do my next bit, which is usually, I am the best. Okay, just do it once again, but you really have to mean it from the bottom of your stomachs. Go. 1, 2, 3.
I am the best.
Thank you. Sit down. Okay, let me explain why I made you do that. We have a changing world, a massively changing world. And I'm a salesperson, so I know these tricks, that I get off an aeroplane or I drive 1,000 miles, hundreds of miles to get to an appointment. I'm tired. Very often I'm getting off an aeroplane, I'm going straight into a speech. Shake your body puts energy back into your body. Massaging your ears, all the nerve endings in your body finish on your ears. So you can keep yourself awake. 3 deep breaths, we all know, puts oxygen back into the system. But also, if you're in a position of negotiation, give the price, and when you've given the price, take 3 deep breaths. Do not carry on talking. Because the problem is, when we carry on talking, we talk the price down. The one thing we cannot teach you, the one thing we cannot teach our young people, the one thing we cannot teach our old people, the one thing that cannot be given to anybody is the fact that you must believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. And that's my starting point. From this moment on, every morning when you wake up, I want you to look in the mirror and go, I am the best. And especially if you have children, or like me, grandchildren, you make them get up in the morning, look in the mirror and go, I am the best. Because that is how we get the changing world. We get the people to believe in themselves and their abilities. So, let's see how it works. You should all have paper. Have you all got paper? Okay, so you should all have paper, so let's see how it works. So, my name is Madi. And Madi stands for Make a Difference Ideas. Everything that I do has to make a difference. If I don't change just one person's life in this room today, my life on this earth was wasted. That's my ambition every single day, to change one person's life. So, I believe, sorry, where's my little finger? Oh, it's up there, okay. I believe so much in myself that I decided if Versace and Gucci can do it, then so can I. So, I registered Madi as a trademark. How many of you are prepared to register your name as a trademark? And in Poland, it's going to be very difficult because everybody's Anna. Isn't it true? Right, so, for a trademark, you have to have some differentiation. So, mine is that I have an Om across the top of my name. Now, an Om is the Hindu sign, not because I want you to be Hindus, not because I want you to convert at all. It's a reminder to me to be ethical in everything that I do. You see, your name, who you are, each one of you is an A-grade student. You're an A-grade student at something. Something that's different to somebody else. It's called a USP, a unique selling point. You have to decide how you are different. And that, in business, is what we call a brand. Each one of you is a brand, first and foremost, with the person that you are. It doesn't matter which company you're working for. It doesn't matter whether you're running your own company and it has a different brand. Each one of us is a brand. What are your ethics? What are the things that you stand for? What are the things that you're not willing to compromise on? You have to decide what they are. So you have to know yourself first before we can make other people understand how we can change them. So, Madi is my brand, Madi is my trademark, and Madi is my name. Now, I want you to do this as your first exercise. So, sorry, I have to stand on this side. My name is Madi. I'm marvelous. I'm ambitious. I'm dynamic. And I'm innovative. First 4 letters of your name, off you go, do them. Positive words only. Nobody if has an N, so there's loads of Annas, so the N cannot be nice, because nice is, okay, it's nice, but it's not novel or, I don't know, you have to find an N word. You can do it in Polish, you don't have to do it in English. So there you are, you have 2 options. Do the 4 letters from your name. If you're an Anna and you've only got 3, you're an ANA, well, you're lucky you've only got 3 to do it from. Just do it. Just think, how do you describe yourself in a positive manner? You know, most people can't do it because we don't even think of ourselves as positive. Oh, I'm fat, my hair looks bad, I'm old. Oh, come on, there's loads of things you could put a credit to me. But I'm not. I'm all of those things. I'm marvelous, I'm ambitious, I'm dynamic, and I'm innovative. Okay, while you're doing that, I'll also go on to the, what is it that you want to do? How many people in this room know exactly what it is that they want to do? If I asked you to cut your right arm off, or if I told you I was the genie in the bottle, and you could have one wish, how many of you know what that would be? Put your hands up. Okay, quite a few of you. Okay, that's not bad. Normally, 95 people out of 100 cannot do that exercise. 95 people out of 100 cannot tell me what it is that they really, really want to do. Your life is a blank piece of paper. Understand this, that whatever you write on the top of that piece of paper can and will come true. But you've got to know what to put on the top of that piece of paper. And you've got to know why you're putting it on the top of that piece of paper. Why have I put what I've put on the top of my piece of paper? Because of my grandson. My grandson is currently 4.5 years old. And I've had my ambition for the last 10 years. Because this isn't about just him. This is about everybody's grandchildren. This is about our grandchildren. This is about our kids. This is about making a better world which we can all live in together. And one that will continue, one we call that is sustainable. How did I put what I put on the top of my piece of paper? I'm going to give you my story while you're still thinking about writing what's going on the top of your piece of paper. By the way, at the top of your piece of paper, you don't need qualifications, you don't need money, and you don't need anybody to tell you that you can do it. What is it that you would put? No disrespect to those of you who are teachers in this room, but teachers are educating children to go down paths which are changing rapidly, and there's no way the teachers can know what those paths are going to be. But they're also very often misdirecting the children or the students. We have to allow people to be able to believe in themselves. Many of you will know you've gone into careers which actually you didn't want to go into. How do I know? How do I know that 85% of people are in a job that they hate? 85% of people. What a waste of human talent. I know, because this is my story. At the age of 16, my dad told me that business was no place for a woman. All Indians are going to be doctors, dentists, or pharmacists. So I went off to university to do pharmacy. It took me 3 months and I dropped out. It wasn't what I wanted to do. At the age of 19, I had an arranged marriage. I arranged it because my parents didn't agree with my choice of the boy. I married an English guy. At that point, my parents cut me off completely and didn't even speak to me. At the age of 23, I was working for a bank, and I was told I was over-enthusiastic for my job. How can anybody be over-enthusiastic for a banking job? Sorry to the sponsors. It's just not possible. So I took my enthusiasm, and I have 2 beautiful daughters. At the age of 27, I was told I would never succeed in anything that I wanted to do because I was a woman. That is by my now ex-husband. But the reason he's my ex-husband is because he put me on the floor and he kicked me. And he repeatedly kicked me. And for 2 days, I couldn't move off the floor. Now, I'm lying there. The whole of my life, to that point, people had told me I had no value. I was a woman with nothing to do with this world except to bear children. I had nothing to offer anybody. Either I'm going to lie there and be a victim for the rest of my life, or I'm going to be a change maker. And that's the point where I changed my life. Now, here's the question to you. I have no qualifications. I have no formal skills or training. I have no money, or I had no money at that point. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I had no confidence. What is it that you're going to do? On top of that, I'm also a woman, I'm also Asian. What is it that you would do? I actually started making food in my kitchen at home. It's called a samosa. It's like a pierogi. I made 4. That's all the money I got. That's all the vegetables and the flour that I got. Went out, sold those 4, came back in, made 8. Went out, sold the 8, came back in, made 16, and 32, and 64, and so on. Until 8 years later, we were providing 10,000 products a week. We went from just me to 35 staff, all of my staff long-term unemployed. Why? Because like me, society has written off unemployed people. They are human capital. They have brains. 20 million unemployed people in the European Union. It's a disaster. Please employ unemployed people. Don't take other people out of jobs. Every time you buy a Chinese product, you kill a European job. We have to help the young. We have to help unemployed. Please make that one of your focuses. It's one of my campaigns. We went from my home to 2 factories, both in regeneration areas, and we went from supplying delicatessens to supplying supermarkets and airlines. I became Asian Woman of Achievement. I became the UK's best boss. It was brilliant. And then what happened? I failed. Yep, I lost everything. Failure is a learning curve. It's the chance to have another go intelligently. If you haven't failed, you haven't learnt. Pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and off we go again. And believe me, it wasn't easy. I would describe it as the second kicking in my life. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So please, do not, if you have an ambition to do something, do not sit there and go, I'm worried in case I fail. Please give it a go. If that's one of the things that you want to put on the top of your piece of paper, but you're not putting it on the top of your piece of paper because you're frightened of failure, please do it, because you will regret it for the rest of your life if you don't. So what am I doing today? Well, today I'm running the Madi group, which is a Make a Difference idea group. We have 8 international companies and organizations. We make profit. Yes, profit is a great word. It is not a bad word. Right? Okay, I disagree that the CEOs and the big multinational companies, the profit they're making, okay, we have to justify why they're making so much and where their money is going. The small entrepreneurs like me, and there's 98% of us across the European Union, the profit that we're making is a profit which we work hard for. But why are we making profit? Because it gives us choices. I have the choice of what I do with my money, and I choose to invest my money in the education of others, in the empowerment, particularly of women and young people, and in survivors of domestic violence to help them gain financial independence. So that's why I have 8 companies, because we make profit out of some of them. Some of them are social enterprises making the social good, and some of them are NGOs. Every single one of them is sustainable. There is not one bit of European funding in any of them. I'm also a member of what is called the European Economic and Social Committee. It's an institution in Brussels, and there we look at policy and policy making. So everything that I'm doing at the grassroots with real people, I can then feed into policy. So that's my world today. Where is my office? My office is a British Airways lounge. Free tea, free coffee, free internet. They have no idea how much paper is going through their printers. An office is an ego. You do not need an office. You go to your customers don't come to you. Where is my personal assistant? My personal assistant is in Delhi. She gets up 4.5 hours before me. All my work is there ready for me to do in the day. I go to bed 4.5 hours after her. All her work is there ready for the next morning. I'm standing here today. 8 companies of mine are still running. How are they running? Because I have brilliant staff. Not one of my team around the world has been employed on their CV. I don't believe in CVs. I don't believe in them at all. I look into the person's eyes and I see their passion to want to work for me, or their passion for their idea that they've got that can help my company grow. I nurture those people, and those people end up creating their own jobs, running a company under what we call the Madi Group, because that then gives them the credibility. My staff are brilliant. Your staff are your greatest asset, but you have to use their brains I understand I don't know anything, but I'm happy to learn from others. This is a key part of what we do. This is why the Madi Group is successful. How do you define success? I am the most successful person in the world. And as I'm standing here today, I will tell you my bank account is 0. Because everybody looks, they hear my story, and they think, well, she must be rich. No. You see, I don't gauge success on how much money is in my bank. I am the most successful person in the world because I wouldn't change my life with anybody else on this planet. How many of you can say that? It's why reality TV, celebrities, celebrity magazines, the Oscars, all these things, why so much money goes into these? Because we all want to be somebody else. I want you to understand that you are the best. I want you to be able to understand that you can empower others, inspire others, that they can be the best. And they can be successful by not wanting to be somebody else. So, back to the blank piece of paper. Now you know my story. What is it that you would put on the top of your piece of paper? Well, I'm going to take you all to New York tomorrow. It's my gift to you. At that point, all of you either saw the Statue of Liberty or you saw the New York skyline. That was your first impulse to the brain. One of those two pictures, or something similar. Not one of you thought, oh, I can't go, I've got to cook Sunday dinner, or I can't go, I've got an appointment with somebody else, or I can't come because I've got to do the teaching at the digital university. None of you thought about that. It's about vision. It's about knowing where you want to go. You get in a car. Yes, you look in the rear view mirror before you pull out. That's the quick glance in the past. But you don't carry the past on your shoulder. You look forward, you drive forward, you are not driving in reverse. You need to focus on what is going on in front of you. Most importantly, when you get in the car, you never just get in the car and go, okay, where shall I go today? You already know where you're going. And because you already know where you're going, if there's a diversion, the road is closed, there's an accident in front of you, there's a blockage, a traffic jam, you find an alternate route. You don't just sit there and go, okay, now what? That's life. Life happens exactly the same way. It's full of diversions. It's full of other paths that we have to take. But we get to our end goal when we know where it is that we're going. So you've got to be able to know what's on the top of your piece of paper. You've got to know what your vision is. You've got to be able to close your eyes and be able to see where it is that you want to go. If you've seen this before, please don't tell everybody else. How many of you have seen it before? Oh, quite a lot. Oh, don't spoil it then. Okay, so let's say that each one of these dots is pharmacist, doctor, dentist, lawyer. You might put entrepreneur. Might put working in Tesco's. Might put mother, whatever. Standard jobs. I want you to join the 9 dots with 4 straight lines without taking your pen off the paper. Go. So I want you to join the 9 dots with 4 straight lines without taking your pen off the paper. How many of those of you who hasn't seen it before can do it? Oh, come on. Could you do it before? Have you done it? Sorry, have you done it before? But can you do it now? Come on then. Cool. If you can, you might spot my genius. Seems simple. Okay. Oh, 4 straight lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. No problems. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. First of all, most people do not come down and have a go. Why? Because they're frightened of failing in front of their friends. He had a go. He's somebody I would employ. Thank you. There was a young woman with a hand up there somewhere. The lady in yellow. Can you do? It was 5 also. Okay. Okay. So let me explain, show you what you're doing. And I know everybody's doing the same sort of thing. You're doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are you doing that? Because we've been taught to think in boxes. Everybody thinks in a box. You are Polish, you are from Warsaw, you are Catholic, you are white. Whatever it is, you have to be in that box. That's you in the box. Fit nicely into a box, that way government can control you. The church can control you. Right? Sorry, it's reality. Right? If you're a woman, it's even worse, because the box is like this size. Believe me, it's true. We can't stay in that box. My job as an entrepreneur is to get you out of that box. My job is to get you to inspire others to get out of their boxes. Because if we get out of the boxes, we get the changes that we want to see. If we keep using the same solutions to try and address the same challenges, we will never get the answers. This is where we're going wrong, especially in Europe. I'm very critical of Europe, even though I work in the European Union. So, your clue is, the answer is outside of the box. Now have a go. Have another go. Now, when you have a go the second time, you think, okay, right, I'll make it career linked. So you think, okay, what will happen is I will try and be a computer scientist. That doesn't work. Yeah. Okay. You have the qualifications to be a computer scientist, so I'm going to go for a job as a computer scientist. You go to Microsoft. Sorry, they don't want you. So you stop. Your brains are stopping. So you think, okay, I'll go to Google. And Google don't want you. So you think, okay, what I might do is, I might change my degree, and I might do something work on algorithms. So you do some work on algorithms, you do all your training, everything else, and you go to IBM. IBM don't want you. And you stop. We constantly stop. When I told you I want you to join the 9 dots with 4 straight lines, I never told you to stop anywhere. I gave you the clue that the answer is outside of the box. So why do we stop? Because we accept the word no. No is only ever a temporary word. Always remember that. Where's my 12-year-old? She's not in the room anymore, is she? Is there anybody under the age of 18? No. Okay, then I can explain to you what no is all about. So, the word no, basically when somebody says no to me, if it's a man, it means he didn't have sex in the morning. If it's a woman, it meant she had to have sex in the morning. Right? Go back the next day. He might have had sex or she might not have had to have sex. It's only ever a temporary word. It depends on the person who's saying no. You never know why they're saying no. They're having a bad day, they're having a good day, whatever. You don't know what's going on in somebody else's life, so don't accept it at all. Keep going back. Keep showing that you are dedicated to the thing that you want to achieve. You are dedicated to the mission that you're trying to share with somebody. It's especially important at the moment while we go through the crisis and while we go through austerity measures, that we don't accept the no's that we are being faced with. Okay, so you've used 3 lines up. You've got 1 line left. Where are we going to go? Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go to the Polish government. Everybody wants to work in the public sector. They say no. You've used all your 4 lines up. What are you going to do? You're going to sit at home. What a waste of talent. Anybody done it yet? Sort of. Who said sort of? Okay, do you want to come and have a go? Come on. No? Why?
I had sex.
Sorry?
I had sex yesterday.
Nobody said that's a good one, that is. I remember that. Okay.
Can I try it again?
Oh, please. Please. I love it. I love it. Somebody who is even trying again. You're very good. Very good.
4 lines?
4 lines without taking your
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, okay, okay, 1. Ah, no, you can't go back over the same line. But okay, okay. Well, carry on, carry on.
Go back again.
Yeah. 3. Okay. Okay, so he has a solution. It was not according to the terms, but he has a solution. Basically, he changed the rules. But he asked. He had to go. So that means that he's thinking in the right way, because very often we don't ask if we can also change the rules. We know rules are developed to keep us inside the box. So sometimes it's good to be able to try and change the rules. So congratulations on that, and I will show you. You see 45, I think it's, Google will have to check it because I found this on Google the other day. You might already know that 45% of the jobs that the young person of a 12 to 14-year-old will be doing by the time they're 40 don't currently exist. So we've got to be able to think outside the box on careers, especially where we're going. This is where it fits into the digital agenda. This is where it's important because it's about joining up the dots. This is what the digital world is all about. Joining up the dots, finding new solutions. So here's your answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? Simple. So now, for your homework, you have to decide what it is you're going to put on your piece of paper. I really need you to focus on that piece of paper. So you're going to write on the piece of paper what it is that you want to do. And you're going to put it right at the top. It's going to be your one overarching ambition. Whatever we can conceive, we can achieve. What is it that you want to conceive? What is it that you really, really want to do? It's not tomorrow. If I said to you, where will you be in 20 years' time? What is it, the one thing you want to be seeing yourself doing in 20 years' time? That's what I want to be seeing at the top of your pieces of paper. Every morning and every night, read them out. Now, you need to also do, underneath there, 3 to 5, no more than 3 or 5 goals. Things that you want to achieve within the next 2 to 5 years. What are the things that you want to achieve? Now, I'm going to give you mine so that you understand. Whatever you put down, please make sure it is clear. Please give it, if it has a salary amount on that you want to be earning, if it has an amount that you want to be seeing in your bank account every month, please put a definite figure. Please put a definite date. If you are not clear, the universe cannot help you. So, what's on mine? Number 1, I wanted an OBE. So an OBE is an award from the Queen for services to the country. It's a nice recognition. I haven't got any qualifications. If somebody gave me a recognition like that, it would be a nice thanks. Then I suddenly found out you could pay the political parties and get one. Okay, if you have to pay for it, I'm sorry, it's not something I want. So I crossed it out, because I don't want it, and I put that I want to write a book. Now, I started writing a book as soon as I started reading it out. Don't ask me how it happens, it just happens. But I actually started writing the book. And of course, I'm now telling people on a regular basis that that's one of my ambitions. And I was in Warsaw at a conference 2 years ago, and I'm doing this exact same exercise, and the woman comes up to me at the end and she says, I'm a publisher, we publish books, we'd love to publish your book. So unless you also share and tell people what it is that you want to do, you won't get the help. But as soon as you know what it is, people start helping you. And when I did it to a group of young people, one of them has actually made a documentary on me. So you don't know where it's going to turn into. Second one, now, this is where you need to be very clear. Don't laugh, and you can't read it from at the top. I want to be on Broadway, you know, singing and dancing. Obviously, you can see I've got the bit of the actress in me. That's why I do what I do here. I want to be on Broadway, but I wanted to test my own theory. Does this work? So this has been, this went on to my thing probably 6-7 years ago. And 5 years ago, I'm doing this speech. And I actually stopped in the middle of the speech because even I hadn't realized. My office address, we'd moved offices, and my office address was 8 Broadway. You have to be clear. My third one. I want a Jaguar. The car, not the cat. Okay, some places I do this. Say, Miss, why do you want a cat? The car. From being a very young age, I have loved the Jaguar. Really love it. And a friend of mine knew I really liked it, so they bought me a picture. I had a lovely picture. It was on my wall while I was a student. It was on my wall while I was married. And it was on the wall of the office when I ran the food company. And as a result of, in exactly the same way that you put your thing on the top of the piece of paper and you read it out every morning and every night, it sends an impulse either through your eyes if you're looking at a picture, or when the reason I'm asking you to read your thing out every morning and every night is because it sends an impulse through the ears. That sends a message down to the thing we call the subconscious. You know why I'm pointing here, because we all do the same thing, right? So I've always wanted this Jaguar, and it's been there and it's been with me, and if somebody said to me, you know, Maddie, what's your one wish? It would have been a Jaguar. Never had any hopes of getting one. Became Asian Woman of Achievement, went down to London to get the award. 1,500 people in the room. Everybody had exactly the same place setting. Knives, forks, spoons, middle of the plate, leather key ring, in the middle of the leather key ring, in the leather key ring, as I pulled it out, Jaguar key ring. My stomach came up into my mouth and I was almost physically sick. Why? Because that was my sign for me. Now, when the subconscious tells you that it's found the clues, it sends a message up to these things. To do action. I was the only person who did what I did the next day. Out of those 1,500 people, I wrote to Jaguar, "Dear Jaguar, if you don't ask, you don't get. Will you sponsor me?" 3 days later, "Hi, this is Jonathan Browning, MD of Jaguar, UK. We loved your letter, but we don't just give cars away." Okay, it wasn't a no, it wasn't a yes either, but I hadn't lost anything. He was touched by my letter, and he says to me, "Listen, we know you work with Buckingham Palace, we know you work with Number 10, the Prime Minister's office." He said, "If you need a car for an event, please let us know, and we will arrange for you to have a car and a driver." Okay, I'd got what in effect, I'd got my Jaguar. Car and a driver, very nice, feel very posh. So I got more than I expected, yeah. He said, "Somebody will call you from Jaguar." 3 weeks later, sitting in the office, "Hi, this is Karen Strange from Jaguar VIP." Notice I still even remember the people's names. "This is Karen Strange from Jaguar VIP. Which car do you want?" And I had a Jaguar car for 2 years, sponsored by Jaguar. Now, yeah, here's the important thing. I have achieved it. So it's done. When you've achieved it, remove it, put something else. Aston Martin DB7. For those of you who don't know, Aston Martin DB7 is a James Bond car. Right? Now, an Aston Martin DB7 is £189,000. I work with villages in Pakistan and Bangladesh and Burundi where you could buy the whole village and sustain the whole village for 10 years with £189,000. So there is no way I'm going to buy one. If my partner offers to buy me one, I would never allow him to buy me one, which means Aston Martin have to give me one. And because the fuel and the insurance is so expensive, they have to give me that also. But I know I am going to do it because it's on my list. That's all I'm saying to you. That's what you have to do. These are my stories. They genuinely come true. Just got to know. So now you're sitting there saying, "Okay, Maddie, we get it. We know we have to put something on the top of this piece of paper." So what you then say is, "But how?" Okay, the how is not important. Remember getting in the car? The vision of where you're going, the how is not important because we don't know what's coming along the road. But just to satisfy your brains, I'm going to give you 7 F's. F number 1. This only works in English, but yeah, I'm sure you can create your own Polish version. Fantasize. So, I need you to lie in the sun, completely relax, let your brains go. What is it that you really want to do? Just ask your brain, what is it that if you had no pressure at all, what is it that you would really want to do? There's no such thing as failure. Whatever you can conceive, you can achieve. You know all the rules. There are no rules, so you can have anything. What would you put down? Wake up and then go, okay, now I'm asking myself, is it feasible? Is it feasible means, is it possible? Can it be done? Nothing is impossible. Nothing. You might say to me, yeah, but they had to go and they failed. They had to go and they failed because they did something wrong. Or you might say to me, nobody's ever done it before. Well, nobody's ever done it before doesn't mean that it's impossible. Or you might say to me that somebody's already doing it. Well, if somebody's already doing it, you can do it better. everything is possible. And you are now in the age where we can make it happen, and we can especially make it happen for the young people. Feasible. Third one, foundation. Do you have the knowledge to do what it is that you want to do? We are in the age of the internet. There is nothing that you can't find out. But most importantly, the foundation and the knowledge is not from the libraries, and it's not from the internet. It's from the people. It's from the human capital that we have. So, in our case, if we are struggling with something, we go ask a young person, how would they solve it? And at the same time, we go ask an old person who is retired, how would they solve it? 9 times out of 10, we get a solution. And it's something we didn't think about. You see, we have been trained. It's either A or B. It's either yes or no. You never think between 1, 2, and 3 as a third option. I'm asking you to look at options 1,000, options 1,001, options 1,002, 10,000 light bulbs before Thomas Edison got the right light bulb. Where did he get the knowledge from? You keep building on it, you keep testing it. It comes from people. So you have foundation. Get yourselves a mentor. I mentor hundreds of people around the world. Why? Especially young people. Why? Because I know how to connect them to somebody who knows what they want to know. That's all it is. So you have the foundation. So far you've got no excuses for not doing what you're not doing. Foundation. Fourth one. Fit for purpose. It's not about being fit and healthy. That helps. You can see I obviously don't do yoga every day. I'm obviously, I'm not in the gym. But it's about being fit up here. It's about being 100% positive. It's about every time you have a negative thought in your brain, removing it. Because a negative thought is like a cancer. It eats away at you. Where's Agatha? Where's my friend Agatha? How do you say it? Agatha. Oh, she's gone. Okay. So she picked me up yesterday from the airport. She's so worried about what could go wrong. So she's imagining all the things that could go wrong instead of thinking, okay, let me focus on what needs focusing on. All these things are going to go right. And then when something goes wrong, you have the energy and the direct focus to address the challenge. And even then you think of it as positive. So keep positive. Europe's favorite word? Failure. Failure is the chance to have another go intelligently. You have to have failed more than 3 times in the US before you can get a loan. They do it for a reason. Because they know you have learned. But you know what? It's not the fear of failure that is stopping you from doing what you want to do. It's the fear of success. You are so frightened in case it actually turns true. How will you manage? Can you imagine if you've put your name at top of your piece of paper that you want to be president of Poland? How will I manage? How will I control the country? How will I address all the issues? How will I fight the poverty? How will I do austerity measures? How will I deal with the European Union? How will I deal with Mr. Cameron? Whatever it is, believe me, people will come and they will help you. If you're setting up a business and you get an order for 1 million products, we will help you. Don't stop yourself because you have the fear of success, nor the fear of failure. Just do it. There is no such thing as failure. If you couldn't fail, what would you do? Always remember that. Failure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th word, focus. When you close your eyes, you must be able to see what is on the top of your piece of paper. Not the words, but actually you in that position. which brings me to the last one, which is face. The face is the way you behave. And from the minute you put down what is on the top of your piece of paper, the minute you start changing. If you have put down that you want to be an astrophysicist, you will start going to university. You will start reading all the books on astrophysics. You will start dedicating yourself to try and find those people on LinkedIn that you can connect with. And you won't stop and you won't sleep. And when you stand up in front of people, you will stand there and you will go, I am an astrophysicist. Once you've learned how to say it. Shouldn't have picked that one, should I? Right? It's like me. Why are these heels on? These heels are on because when I'm speaking to you, I like to be confident. Yeah, even I struggle from low self-confidence. That's a woman thing. But I want you to see that I am successful and that I believe in what I'm telling you because I genuinely do. So I have the face. I know where I'm going in 10 years' time. I know what my goal is. I can tell you the exact number. I'll tell you what's on the top of my piece of paper in a minute. I can tell you what's on the top of the exact number of where I am. That's the face. And that is the most important thing, and that is where you change. Okay? So, how do I do it? With this. You've each got one. Whatever you put on the top of that piece of paper, you read it out, go home, do it as homework, whatever, and then you have this to make it happen. So you take this, it's called a commitment bead, and you put it inside your purse or your wallet. Every time you open your purse or your wallet, you remember your commitment to make the change or to do what it is on the top of your piece of paper. Top of my piece of paper, $7 billion ideas to action. Now, I believe that everybody can have one idea and that idea turned into an action. If I can do that, and I'm already 50, I can do it, you can do whatever's on your piece of paper. Remember I told you you have to have the focus and the vision? I have a counter in my head which is counting down the numbers. And I have given out 26,000 of these. So that's 26,000 ideas. We have created videos, sales materials, everything. So I know we've even affected much more than 26,000 people. Be focused. Ghandi said, you must be the change you want to see. Madi says, you must be the change you want to see, no excuses. Bardzo dziękuję.